Let's talk about good debt versus bad debt. There's no in between. You're either fighting for the forces of evil or aligning yourself with the forces of good. Let's first fully understand the distinction between good debt
and bad debt.
When it comes to debt, there's more to consider than just a price tag. I know this because I've experienced both ends of the debt spectrum. There was a phase in my life when I thought the key to wealth was flaunting my success, only to learn that the real wealth doesn't come from impressing others or maintaining an image. Use strategically, debt can be a powerful tool for building wealth and financial freedom.
Well, in my mind, being rich is having an awful lot of money. Being very, very rich is having even more. And being wealthy doesn't necessarily equate to having a lot of money.
What does it equate to then? I just want I think I know what you mean, but I still want you to clear it up before I give you an answer on it.
It all depends on understanding the difference between good debt and bad debt, and knowing how to use it wisely. So let's dive into what each debt means and how to make smarter decisions with it. When I first started making good money, I fell into a trap. Coming from a low-income background, I wanted to show everyone that doubted me that I'd made it. At 22, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on luxury cars, luxury clothes, and the latest gadgets.
I don't know whether I should use the Beamer right here or the Mercedes over there. Big dilemma here.
It was my way of getting back at everyone who underestimated me, a way to prove my worth. All the teachers and school faculty and my classmates that doubted me. Financing a lifestyle that made me feel wealthy left me with nothing of real value in the end. The satisfaction was temporary, and the debt became a constant weight on my shoulders. Eventually, I had to face the truth. Impressing others was costing me my financial freedom. Good debt builds wealth and income potential, while bad debt drains it. Simple enough, right? Here's how to tell them apart. Good debt is debt that appreciates over time or generates income. Let me give you some unique examples before we dive into the usual suspects. Consider The Amazing Spider-Man version 1. Published in 1963, it originally sold for 12 cents. A near mint copy of this comic book can now fetch between $25,000 and over $100,000. The record-breaking CGC graded 9.6 copy that sold for about $3.6 million in just 2021. The appreciation here is mind-blowing. An original investment of 12 cents grew by over 20,832,400%. That's crazy. I know that's a huge number. This comic book highlights how some items, when chosen wisely, can increase massively in value, turning a small cost into a powerful asset. Here are some good debt examples. Investing for appreciation and tax benefits are great examples of good debt. Just like that comic book, there are types of debt that can build your financial future. Here are some common examples of good debt, each providing returns that far outweigh the initial cost. Mortgages allow you to own real estate, which generally appreciates. Unlike rent, mortgage payments build equity, growing your net worth. Additionally, there's a tax benefit. Homeowners can deduct the interest paid on their mortgage from their taxable income, especially helpful during the early years of the mortgage when interest payments are the highest. Student loans can be an investment in yourself, opening doors to better paying job opportunities. For those who qualify, interest payments on student loans may also be a deductible, reducing taxable income and making this debt easier to manage. Business loans. Taking out a business loan can be an excellent investment if used for growth and income generation. Not only do successful businesses contribute to long-term financial growth, but business debt also offers tax advantages. The IRS allows businesses to deduct ordinary and necessary expenses, including the interest paid on loans used for business purposes. This applies to various types of business loans, from mortgages on commercial properties to equipment financing and lines of credit, which can significantly reduce the overall tax burden. Auto loans, you never thought, when necessary, of course. While cars depreciate, an auto loan can be a good debt if the car is essential for income. Like commuting to work, low-interest loans on necessary vehicles can support financial goals, provided the vehicles generate income or allows you to reach income-generating opportunities. Interest-free loans are often available for education or home improvement and more manageable as they don't accumulate interest. They're a cost-effective way to invest in your future without added financial strain. My favorite, real estate investment strategies. Beyond the traditional mortgages, there are other tax benefits associated with real estate investments. Number one is depreciation and deductions. Real estate investors can write off depreciation on properties, which reduces taxable income. For instance, a $275,000 property, excluding the land, allows an investor to deduct around $10,000 annually as depreciation. A 1031 exchange. This tax strategy allows real estate investors to defer capital gains when reinvesting proceeds from a property sale into a similar property, meaning you can sell a property and buy another one without paying immediate taxes on the profit. Number three, Section 121 exclusion. Homeowners may exclude up to $250,000 or as much as $500,000 if they're married, capital gains from the sale of their primary residence if they've lived there for at least 2 of the past 5 years. Now let's talk about bad debt. Bad debt, on the other hand, does nothing to build wealth and drains your finances. It's the debt that comes with high interest and minimal returns. Credit card debt. One of the most common forms of bad debt, especially when used for essential purchases. High interest can make balances grow quickly, impacting financial security. Personal loans for luxury items. Borrowing for things like luxury vacations, designer items, or gadgets that lose value quickly drains resources without adding long-term value. High interest consumer loans is another one. Short-term loans with extremely high interest rates can create financial strain, offering a quick fix that often leads to long-term problems. So you shouldn't do it. Let's talk about the key financial metrics, understanding your capacity for debt. In other words, DTI. Managing debt responsibly means understanding your debt limits. Here are some key financial metrics that you need to know. Back-end debt-to-income ratio includes all monthly debt payments. Lenders often use this ratio to evaluate creditworthiness. Here are the risk levels for DTI ratios. Below 30, this is where you need to be. 36% to 49%. It's a moderate risk, possibly leading to stricter lending criteria, so you might want to be careful. 50% or higher, you're out of the ballgame. You're high risk, making it difficult to manage debt effectively, and probably no one wants to deal with you. Does that sound familiar? Let's talk about strategies to leverage debt wisely. Once I realized the mistake of focusing on bad debt, I started studying on how to use debt as a growth tool. Here are some financial strategies I learned that could help you make the most of good debt. Real estate builds wealth over time, with mortgage interest often deductible. Consolidate high interest debt. Consolidating debt into a single lower interest loan reduces monthly payments and overall interest. Borrowing a proven business can provide income and tax-deductible interest. Borrowing to invest in high-yield assets like dividend stocks or REITs offer potential growth and tax benefits. Debt recycling uses equity from the appreciating asset, like a home, to reinvest in other income-generating assets, creates a loop of debt management and wealth growth. Debt can be strategically managed to offer several tax advantages. Here's a breakdown of some key tax-related debt strategies. Number one, understanding business expenses. The IRS permits businesses to deduct ordinary and necessary expenses, which includes the interest on loans for business use. This applies to loans for commercial properties, equipment, or even business lines of credit, all which reduce taxable income. Debt forgiveness. If a lender forgives or cancels your debt, the forgiven amount is typically considered taxable income. However, there's an exception, such as debts discharged due to bankruptcy or insolvency, which may exclude forgiven debt from taxable income. It's crucial to understand these tax implications, and in some cases, consulting with a tax professional, not me. That can definitely help you navigate these complexities. The risks of leveraging debt. Before you guys need to understand the risks associated with leveraging debt. While good debt can build wealth, leveraging debt always involves risk. Market fluctuations. Investments can lose value during downturns, impacting heavily leveraged finances. A clear example of this was in 2008, the financial crisis. During the early 2000s, there was a housing boom fueled by easy access to high-end debt subprime mortgages, while borrowers with poor credit purchased homes, pushing property values to an unsustainable high. Many borrowers with poor credit purchased homes, pushing property values to unsustainable highs. When the housing bubble bursted in 2007, property values plummeted, leaving many homeowners underwater, owing more than their mortgages and their homes were actually worth. This led to the widespread of foreclosures and financial distress, especially for those who had taken substantial debt, but it made me super rich because I was the guy fixing all their credit. Unexpected expenses can disrupt debt repayment, so maintaining an emergency buffer is essential. Debt, when used strategically, can fuel growth, but it also requires careful planning and precision to manage unexpected financial challenges that can disrupt cash flow. Take example, a small business owner facing unexpected cost. Let's give her a name, Sarah. She owns a coffee shop. She had taken a $50,000 loan with a monthly payment of $1,200 and budgeted expenses based on her average monthly sales of $10,000 a month. One month, her espresso machine decides to break, costing her $5,000 for a replacement, and her lease unexpectedly increased by $500. With these added expenses, her monthly obligations jumped to $8,700 quickly. Although her cash flow allows her to cover the loan payment, she has little to nothing left, and believe me, they will come. That's how life works. This example highlights the importance of maintaining an emergency buffer to cover surprise expenses without disrupting the debt repayment. For any business owner or individual, an emergency fund ensures that unexpected financial hits don't strain the cash flow or hinder the debt obligations. Here's a big one, over-leveraging. A lot of people do it, especially those that are trying to get rich quick. Borrowing more than manageable can lead to financial distress. Debt can offer powerful financial leverage, but borrowing beyond one's means or over-leveraging can lead to serious financial consequences. And seen during the 2008 financial crisis, we all know what happened there. Of over-leveraging, quite a clear example of over-leveraging involves homeowners during the early 2000s. Many families took on the large amounts with little to no down payment, often at a 95% loan-to-value ratio. For instance, a couple purchasing a $400,000 home with a $380,000 mortgage and a combined income of $60,000 had a monthly housing cost of about $3,000, which included the $2,500 mortgage payment and $500 in taxes and maintenance. I know that's a lot, so guys, follow with me now. With a debt-to-income ratio, DTI, of 60%, double the recommended maximum of 28 to 30%, like we mentioned before, they were definitely highly leveraged. When the 2008 market downturn caused their home values to plummet to $300,000, they were left underwater. Oh, on a now $300,000 property. With no financial buffer and high debt levels, even small financial setbacks left them struggling to meet mortgage obligations, leading to the foreclosures and significant hits to their credit scores. This example emphasizes the risk of borrowing beyond one's capacity and underscores the need for a manageable debt load and an emergency buffer. Making informed borrowing decisions and maintaining reasonable leverage are the keys to financial resilience and long-term stability. Remember, guys, build wealth through strategic debt when used strategically can be a path to financial growth and stability. My journey from bad debt to good debt taught me that true wealth isn't about an image or impressing others. It's about building a secure future. By focusing on good debt and understanding the benefits of tax advantage strategies, you can use that to build wealth rather than drain it. My hope is that by sharing my story and these insights, you'll be able to make smarter choices, avoid my mistakes, and gain control of your financial future. True wealth is built on informed decisions and with the right perspective.